So we've got another delicious Costa Rican coffee here from Las Lajas Estate as well. This one though is interesting. This one is a black honey. So it is a very deeply fermented honey process. Honey processes are when they leave the mucilage, or like the little sugars, the actual fruit guts of the coffee on the seeds and let it ferment over. The black honey is a super deep ferment though, so they let it ferment till it's almost black, and then they do an extensive washing process. What that deep ferment does though is deliver some really fun, complex flavors to the coffee. The honeys are characterized usually by being sweet, but not always. This one though is especially sweet. It's got a bunch of really good sugars, really good like kind of candied apple, rhubarb, sweet notes. And then it's also got some like extra complexity to it. It's got some nuttiness. It's got like a really good kind of like citric quality on the finish. Really good like lemony citrus on the finish. So just really fun and complex. Not everybody's morning cup of coffee, but we love it here. And we're doing a little more of an open brew than we did with the straight natural Perla Negra. This one is more of like a 16 to 17 to 1. So we're going 20 grams in again. Slightly coarser grind, and we're gonna aim for about like 240 out. So this is closer to more of a specialty coffee, classic 17 to 1 ratio. And this coffee, we don't necessarily need to highlight the body as much as we did with the Perla Negra. The body is gonna be naturally thinner on this coffee. What we're going for is those sweet, bright fruit notes, and you're gonna get a really fun, complex cup out of this. Now, with the Kalita Waves, super foolproof brewing. It's a cheap brewer, but it does good in just allowing you to be kind to yourself and to realize that like you can throw almost any coffee in here and it's gonna brew pretty similarly. And the better coffee you throw in there, more fun it's gonna be, tastier it's gonna be. But this honey is one of my favorites because it's got like, this black honey in particular, black and purple honeys, the more deeply fermented ones, they have these uniquely like sugary, sweet backbones to the coffee that make it so you can kind of roast it how you want and make some delicious flavors out of it, but it's always gonna have that sweet backbone. Now with this coffee, yeah, we ground it a little bit coarser than we did with the Perla Negra. This one's like a 10 on the EK. So we're aiming for a little more of an open cup, little thinner body, but just big sweetness, big fruit character. And this is something that you can do at home very easily with the Kalita. If you don't necessarily have as nice of a grinder as we do here at the roastery, you can still do it at home. I recommend playing with various like sieves if you want to get the fines out of the coffee or your boulders out of the coffee, and narrow that grind size down so you get a better extraction. You can do that with some very cheap solutions. I remember years ago I bought like a geologist set of sieves on Amazon. Super cheap, but they did the job. And this one's almost brewing through, and we're looking at like a 2.5 minute brew here, so still pretty quick, but actually slightly slower than the Perla Negra. And we're gonna look for some delicious notes of like candied apple, really sweet, citric, like kind of almost lemon balm texture on your palate, but really fun coffee. Would recommend it.